Hello everybody. Today we are going to discuss the next part of the chapter Atoms, Molecules and Radicals part 2. So for today's discussion, first we have to discuss what is the molecular formula of an element. It states that the molecular formula of an element is the symbolic representation of its molecule. It indicates the number of atoms present in it. That means it is a symbolic representation, and it also exhibits how many atoms are there. For example, if I write H2, it implies this is one molecule of hydrogen, because H is the symbol of hydrogen. So one molecule of hydrogen where two atoms are there. Two atoms of hydrogen is there. Two atoms of hydrogen is there. Okay? Think just the same way, if you write that 2H2, what is the meaning of that symbolic representation? This 2 indicates it's two molecules of hydrogen, and in each molecule of hydrogen there are two hydrogen atoms are present. For example, if you write that P4, P stands for the symbolic representation of phosphorus. So P4, it implies one phosphorus molecule. Phosphorus is a tetraatomic molecule. Its atomicity is 4. Because 4 atoms of phosphorus, it associates with each other to form the one molecule of phosphorus. Okay. So these are the representation of different kinds of the molecules of atoms. So you have to learn that table. Different molecules are there. For example, ozone, it is represented by the formula O3, where O3 represents one molecule of ozone where 3 atoms of ozone oxygens are there. 3 atoms of oxygen associated with each other to form one ozone molecule. But if you write 5O3, it represents 5 molecules of ozone. Is it okay? So now come to the next part, molecules of compounds. So molecules of compounds form whenever 2 or more atoms of an element are associated in a fixed ratio by mass. Then it forms the molecule of compound. For example, take this example, carbon dioxide, CO2. Here, one oxygen molecule associated with one carbon molecule, one oxygen atom associated with one carbon atom, and again one oxygen atoms are associated with this carbon. So 2 oxygen atoms are there and 1 carbon atoms are there. This is the simple symbolic representation. This is the diagrammatic representation. Symbolic representation is this one, but this is the diagrammatic representation. Since you are the beginners, this is not the actual diagram of carbon dioxide, but you will learn later in higher classes. This is not actually the diagram of carbon dioxide, but since you are almost the beginners in chemistry, so that's why I am representing this in this way. This is the diagrammatic representation. So this is carbon dioxide. For example, H2O. This is also another example of molecules of compound. Here, the 2 different kinds of the atoms are there. One is hydrogen and another is oxygen. So here, the one oxygen atom is associated with 2 different hydrogen atoms in a fixed ratio by mass. So this is the way of representation of one water molecule. This is the symbolic representation, and this is the diagrammatically representation of the molecules of a compound. because molecule is the smallest unit of a compound. Okay. Now, the thing is that molecules of compound, if you treat that molecules of compound in different chemical reactions, by chemical method only, you can separate out, or separate out is a wrong term, you can split the molecules of a compound into its constituent atoms. I am giving you one example. Say this is mercuric oxide, HgO. Hg stands for the mercury and oxygen is O stands for the oxygen. So mercuric oxide, one atom of mercury associated with one atom of oxygen. So this mercuric oxide, if you supply the heat, it will break into the two different constituent atoms. One is mercury and another is oxygen. This is the, but you will learn in the higher classes, this is the unbalanced chemical equation. You have to balance this one. This is not the way to represent a chemical equation. This is only for the beginners. That's why in your book it is represented in this way. This is the unbalanced chemical equation. This is not the balanced chemical equation. You will learn later in class 8 that how to balance a chemical reaction. Okay. Now forget about this one. Say this is the mercury and this is the oxygen. So whenever you supply the heat, it breaks up into its constituent atoms. Okay. So here it is that the representation. So a chemical reaction, by chemical method, you can obtain the constituent atoms. Another example is there, that water molecule, one atom of oxygen and two atoms of hydrogen. So by means of electrolysis with acidulated water means you have to add some small amount of few drops of sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid, mineral acid, so that the electrolysis process takes place quite easily. Then by means of supplying of electric current, then it will split into the different constituent atom, that means hydrogen, oxygen and again hydrogen. So from this discussion, what is the output? First output is that you have to learn that what is the chemical formula. Chemical formula of an element, it represents the symbolic representation of a molecule. Okay. Now molecular formula of an element, it represents the symbolic representation of a molecule. And not only that, it also states us that how many atoms are there. Okay. And next is that the molecules of a compound is that two or more than two elements, different kinds of the elements, that means the atoms of these elements, when they are associated with each other, they form the different compounds. Carbon dioxide, water, mercuric oxide, these are the examples of different kinds of the molecules of compound. And these molecules of compound, they are associated, different atoms, they are attached with each other by their fixed ratio of their mass. And when they are associated with each other, they form the different compounds, and whose chemical and the physical behavior is completely different from the constituent atoms. You take this example of water. You know that hydrogen is a gas and oxygen is also a gas. But when hydrogen and oxygen combines, 2:1 by volume, two part of hydrogen when combines with one part of oxygen, they form the water. And water is a liquid. So the chemical behavior is completely different from the constituent atoms. And by means of the chemical reaction, you can get back the original constituent atoms by means of chemical reaction. Okay, chemical method. Okay, so next is that now we are going to discuss about the next part, that is the radicals. I am rubbing this one. So next part is the radicals. Okay, what is the radicals? Radicals, you can say it's a group of atoms or a single atom of an element having a charge, either positive charge or negative charge, but it behaves like a single unit of atom. I am giving you one example. Say Cl. This is the symbol of chlorine, but Cl minus, it represents the chloride radical. O is the symbol of oxygen. If you write O2 minus, it represents the oxide radical. Okay. Na is the symbol of sodium, but Na plus, that is the sodium radical. So radical is nothing but either it's one atom, single atom of an element, or a group of atoms, but whenever the chemical reaction takes place, they behave as a single unit. And this charge, minus, minus, 2 minus, or 1 plus 1, that means 1 plus, or say Mg. Mg is the symbol of magnesium. Mg 2 plus, it represents the magnesium ion or magnesium radical. Okay, so this charge, minus 1 or minus 2 or plus 1 or plus 2, it may be plus 3 or it may be minus 3. These are actually the valency. It represents the valency of an element. Valency means the combining capacity. So first, these are the radicals. Now you see, these are the single atom of an element. Now, but if you see that CO3 2 minus, you see there are the different kinds of the atoms are there. One carbon atom with 3 oxygen atoms having double negative charge. This is the carbonate radical. So it is a group of atoms, but when a chemical reaction takes place, this carbonate atom, this carbonate radical behaves as a single unit. Take this example, SO4 2 minus. It represents sulfate radical, where one sulfur atom and 4 oxygen atom associated with each other having 2 negative charges. So this is the sulfate radical. So when it reacts with hydrogen ion, then it forms the sulfuric acid. So carbonate, sulfate, these are the group of atoms having some charges, and these are also represents the radicals, because in a chemical reaction they behave as a single unit. Now there are the two different kinds of the radicals, acid radicals and basic radicals. Basic radicals having the positive charge, and most of them are the metals. For example, you may say this sodium plus, Mg2 plus, these are the basic radicals. And acidic radicals are there having the negative charge, and mostly they formed by the association of the non-metals. For example, chloride, this is the acid radical. Oxide, acid radical. Carbonate, acid radical. Sulfate, acid radical. But one exception is there, ammonium, NH4 plus, ammonium, nitrogen, one atom of nitrogen with 4 atoms of hydrogen associated with each other and having one positive charge or single positive charge. This is the ammonium radical. Now this ammonium radical, the non-metals presents there, but it's a group of ions associated with each other, but it forms the basic radical. So metallic ions, these are termed as the cations also. So these are the basic radical, but this is the exception. Ammonium ion or ammonium radical, it is an example of basic radical, though it forms by the association of different non-metals, nitrogen and hydrogen. And these are the non-metals association group of atoms or single atom having some charges. These are termed as the anions or the acid radical. So I am giving you one example. Say two hydrogen ions or two hydrogen radicals when associated with one sulfate, then it forms one molecule of sulfuric acid. You see the total plus and minus charges are same. How many plus charges are there? 2. Because 2H, that means one hydrogen ion and another hydrogen atom. So how many positive charges are there? 2. And how many negative charges are there? -2. So it forms sulfuric acid. For example, basic radical sodium plus and acid radical chloride Cl minus associated with each other and forms sodium chloride compound. You see +1 and -1. So the total positive and the total negative charges are same. Think about this one, vinegar. You are very familiar with that vinegar. It is actually available in your kitchen also to marinate the mutton or chicken, whatever. Now this is the vinegar. Its chemical name is acetic acid. So it's an example of a molecular of a compound. You see how many carbons are there? How many carbon atoms are there? 2. How many hydrogen atoms are there? 3 plus 1, 4. And how many oxygen atoms are there? 2. So 2 carbon atoms, 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms associated with each other in a fixed ratio by their mass, and it forms acetic acid. So chemical name is acetic acid, and actually the common name, we know this compound in terms of vinegar. Now this acetic acid, what kind of radicals are there? Hydrogen radical, that means the hydrogen ion and CH3COO minus. This is acetate anion. Acetate anion. This is acetate ion. Anion means having the negative charge. Now you see that how many positive charge is there? +1. And how many negative charge is there? -1. So these two radicals combines with each other and it forms acetic acid. Okay, so whenever it forms the compound, the total plus charge, that means in case of basic radical, and the total minus charge in case of an acid radical, that should be same. Okay, so I am giving you some more examples of the radicals. I am giving you a few examples of radicals also. Say calcium Ca+2. It's an example of basic radical. Iron, there are the two different kinds of the radical. Either Fe+2, which is termed as ferrous, and another is Fe3+, which is termed as ferric. Like that, copper, Cu is the symbolic representation of copper. Now, whenever it has only one positive charge, it is termed as Q+, and when the two positive charges are there, it is termed as cupric. So ferrous, ferric, Q+, cupric. Another example, Sn is the symbolic representation of tin. If 2 positive charges are there, stannous. If 4 positive charges are there, stannic. If the lower valency is there, it's pronounced as as, ferrous, cuprous, stannous. If the higher valency is ferric, cupric, stannic. What problem is there? Cuprous, cupric, Cu+1, Cu+2. Okay. Next, let me explain some basic radical, acid radical also. I have already discussed about carbonate, sulfate, and next is the nitrite. N3-, nitrogen. N stands for the symbol of nitrogen. N3-, that is the nitrite. Okay. Now SO4 2- represents sulfate. If it is SO3 2-, then it represents sulfite. So these are the different kinds of the radicals. In your book, you will find a table like this. You will get a table like this. Okay, so memorize this table because that will help you to represent the formula of different compound. How to write down the formula in next class, I will discuss about this. Thank you.